You got to build trust. People need to realize money comes from relationships. A lot of people want more money, well, then they need more relationships. Relationships are built on trust. People need to trust you. If I can't trust you, it doesn't matter if I like you. I can't trust you. Why not just tell the truth? And once I started leaning into it, dude, I started to develop this real brand. And people started saying, man, I like that dude. He tells it like it is. Now, I started noticing some people didn't like it. And I asked myself, well, how do you make every one of them happy? And the answer is you can't. You cannot make anyone happy. At the end of the day, your business better be based on truth, man, or it's not going to last. You're going to end up in a bad situation. The truth has cost me money because people don't like the truth.
How much does that cost you?
It cost me $200 million. Glad it didn't cost me $500 million. You know what I'm saying? But that's not stopping anything.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of As the Leader Grows. I am your host, Ken Joslin. I've got a doozy for you today, guys. I have got my guy, my good friend, the one and only BL, Brad Lea, all the way from Las Vegas. Guys, this guy has been an important part of my journey. I share about him in my upcoming book. Just his generosity, his friendship, the relationship we've been able to build. BL, what's up, big boy?
What's happening? Thanks for having me, buddy.
Dude, I'm pumped for you being here, my friend.
Well, let's wait and see.
You said we were off air. We were talking a little bit about faith and righteousness and all that. We'll hit some of that stuff. But one of the things you said just a little while ago is you said, well, you know, you're always going to get the truth from me. And that's the one thing, dude. We've had some very lengthy one-on-one conversations ranging from 30 minutes to some have been 2 or 3 hours together, just spending time having conversations. Talk to me real quick about in you, your social media, what people know about you. What is it in you, Brad, that really drives you towards just the black and white of everything and really wanting to find out what the truth is?
Man, I just think it's easier that way. I think people can communicate better the more simply you put things, you know, and there's a lot of people out there that feel the opposite. They think that, you know, they want to appear to be something they're not, so they act a certain way and present themselves a certain way, and it's just not real. So, you know, I learned a lesson when I was younger that kind of taught me be real, be you, and if they don't like it, that's their business. And I am simple. I'm a simple dude. You know, I'm black and white. Now, again, some people can say, I know Brad, dude. That dude's smart. Well, again, you know, so was Rain Man, you know. He was smart, you know. Definitely 432. You know, maybe I'm an idiot savant. Who knows? The bottom line is, you know, I'm not gonna use $10 words and try to get everybody convinced that I'm some sort of scholar when in reality I'm not. I'm not a scholar. I'm a scholar of life, I suppose.
Yeah, you got a ton of what I would call in the South walking around sense or common sense. You just have a moxie about you. You mentioned an experience that you had earlier in your life. Share that with me.
The one I mentioned?
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to, you know, feel like we didn't really fit in. For some reason, you'll never see this anymore, but like we lived in a little tiny old house up on a hill. And the neighbors all around us were like big, nice houses. And we were I used to feel like everyone thought of us as the scummy family next door, like ruining their neighborhood. You know, I always felt like, you know, our cars were old and our house is old. And, you know, all of us kids were little snot-nosed brats that were like terrorizing the neighborhood, doing like we weren't little Beaver Cleaver kids, that's for sure. And so, you know, all the kids around the neighborhood weren't allowed to play with me after a while because I ultimately just lied about everything. I lied about everything. I lied if the truth sounded better, Ken. I just, you know, wanted them to accept me. Ultimately, I was lying to be accepted, and it backfired. And I was embarrassed, outcast, ridiculed, traumatized, if you will, which I wasn't, but I technically, maybe I was like, when people say, well, why are you like this now? Well, maybe it's because of that. I don't know, but I got shunned. You know, like if you're in faith, if you're a real faithful guy in some religions and you get shunned, bro, you don't want to be shunned.
Mm-mm.
But I got shunned at like 6 years old. And so from 7 to like 9 or 10, bro, I was freaking hated. And I was not allowed to be played with. Now, again, I still got to play and snuck around and, lived a decent life. It wasn't like I was crying in my bedroom every day. But I mean, at the end of the day, I can remember being, hey, you want to come out and play? And they'd go, oh, dude, my mom's home. She doesn't want me to play with you. And then I'd say, well, tell him you're playing with Scott, and he'd say like, Mom, can I go play with Scott? And, you'd hear the mom go, yes, Scott's okay. And then he'd run out the door and we'd have to, go play somewhere where she couldn't see. And he'd lie to his mom to play with me. So, dude, I think that is why I've decided to be real, because I felt the sting of not being real. And quite frankly, hey, let me just finish this because I think this is important for people listening. We have to realize, and I think we all do at some point, that, we have to understand one thing. Like, you're not going to make everyone happy no matter what you do. So why not be you, naturally you, authentically you? And let the world, the people, the universe, God, whoever and whatever, decide who likes it. And not be afraid of who doesn't. Because you're looking for the ones who do. So if you're not yourself and you're surrounded by people, you really don't know if they actually like you. You really don't know if they actually are your friend, because you're not even being the real you. You don't say what you think. You're not real. Okay. You're a front, you're a facade, you're fake. Okay. You're presenting your best self, but that is not you. The real you is the one jerking off in the closet. The real you is the one freaking cheating on your girl. The real you is the one freaking, despising somebody you act like you're a friend with. The real you is a dirt ball. Okay. But you act like you're everybody's friend, and you act like you're such a good dude, and you act like you're such a good Christian or godly man. And guess what? You're not. Okay, that's called lying to yourself. That's called being inauthentic. That's called, in my mind, screwing up, Ken. You got to be real. You got to be authentic. And it's so freeing and comfortable when you do it. The problem is most people can't because they have allodoxophobia.
So good. Do you remember the conversation? We did an event. I did an event with you at your space. It was October of 2021. And Gary Brecka was when Gary first was just coming on the scene. And Gary did that talk on authenticity.
Dude, have you ever noticed that, by the way? Like, what's that? Everybody that blew up on the scene came through me first.
Exactly. But you remember that conversation? I was standing. I get it, bro. Hey, listen, I'm one of those guys. Like, I remember you and I were standing together when Gary was talking about authenticity. And he talked about that study that was done where it said the highest frequency that we emit as human beings is authenticity. And that happens when we have an understanding and a deep passion and belief in a subject. And I'll never forget, I'm standing right next to you. And I think that's one of the reasons you connect, because dude, we've been friends for a while now. We've spoke at a conference last year. I don't know, 400 or 500 people together. I watch you walk into a room of 400 or 500 and you don't act any different you do if you walk in a room of 40 or 50, or if you walk in a room of 3 or 4. You're who you are all the time. Well, that's where I wanted to get. A lot of people can't do that. And it's really freeing being able to be you.
I wish you had a bomb button, brother.
Well, I hit the bomb button when we were over there last time and you were outside on your phone and I was leading your sales training course. You told me to leave your bomb button alone. Why do you think people having a hard time? Is it social media culture? Is it insecurity? Why do you think is the biggest reason that people have a hard time just being themselves?
because they have allodoxophobia. Allodoxophobia is a real thing. It's the fear of other people's opinions. Some have it worse than others, but people do not want to be judged. People fear embarrassment and judgment. I mean, that's the best word for it. People fear judgment. That's why. So what they do is they go, oh, here comes somebody. I better set up straight. Well, bro, why is somebody coming going to cause you to do something that you're not naturally doing? Look, I'm going to be me. If I slouch, well, bitch, then I slouch. Okay. And I want you to see that I slouch, because if you don't want to slouch, you shouldn't want me. I don't want to sit up, make you think I'm not a slouch, only to find out 2 years later when I'm slouching and you're bitching about me slouching and you wish I wasn't slouching. I wish I'd have just saw you slouching from the second I met you. This would have been so much easier. Right.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't be together. Exactly. So at the end of the day, you allow natural selection to take place when you're authentic. When you are you, the people that like you will come around, and they like you for you.
You attract the right people. Yeah.
Exactly. They like you. But right now, there's people that are surrounded by friends that, dude, you don't even know if they like you. And dude, they don't even know you.
Yeah.
Okay. And now that by the way, I'm taking it to the extreme to make the point. So some people might be thinking, oh, come on, they know me. Yeah, they know you, but do they know you? I mean, are you really telling the truth? And that's why when you said, hey, we'll get this going, I said, well, you'll get the truth. Why? People can ask me a tough question where, man, it's embarrassing, or I look stupid, or this isn't good. And I'll tell the truth. Why? Well, because, dude, the truth, you don't have to remember. The truth is the truth. And if they don't like the truth, brother, I'm okay with the truth. I'm okay with the truth, dog. Come on, man. Let's get okay with the truth. That's the freaking saying that we need to get people rolling with. Get okay with the truth. The truth is you're fat. The truth is you're broke. The truth is you're scared. The truth is you're afraid. Okay, dude, face the truth. Again, the truth shall set you free. That's not just a saying. That is the truth.
You know, when I lost, I'm down over 100 pounds now in 3.5, 4 years. And the very first thing I had to do, Brad, when I got ready to take this journey, I had to get on the scale. I had to get on the scale and look at that thing, say 300 and some odd pounds. Or I couldn't start the journey because I was unable to be able to face the truth. You said something earlier about truth. We talked about kind of your faith journey. You said something earlier off air that I'd love to go back to, because, you know, I pastored for about 12 and a half, 13 years. I host the #1 faith-based entrepreneur conference in the country now with a ton of my friends. You've been a part of a lot of our events. And the one thing you said earlier as a pastor that kind of gets me going, oh, I like hearing that, is I'm on this journey to find out what righteousness really looks like for Brad Lea. Not for everybody else, just for me. Number one, I don't think you can be authentic unless you come from that perspective. This is about me. It's not about everybody else. It's just about me. Talk about that journey and your faith journey, and trying to figure out what that looks like for you to be a righteous human being.
I love your buzzwords, Ken. You know, journey. Like, you know, before I could start that journey, you were already on a journey, brother. You've been on a journey since you slid out. Okay. You've been on a journey since you slid out, and it involved getting fat, and it involved getting in shape. And who knows, it may involve getting fat again. Okay. 9 times out of 10, most fat people. And by the way, I'm one of them. So nobody can say I'm shaming. Why? Because I'm a fat person. Okay. Sometimes I'm a fat person in shape, and other times I'm a fat person in the raw. But at the end of the day, we go up, we go down. The whole life's a journey. So when people say, you know, start the journey, or congratulations, you know, I want to go on this journey with you, it's like, man, to me, I just think to myself, that's a big word, journey. But anyway, hey, I digress. Only because we're buds, and I forget we're on a podcast. See, that's another thing. This is your podcast. I should sit here and answer your questions like a good guest would. I would sit here and say what I think you want me to say, and what I think your audience needs me to say, and maybe whatever I needed to say to sell whatever I wanted to sell. It's like, What do I feel? What's the truth? I dare you to say that. Okay, that's what I do. So when you ask me the question, give me the journey. That's why I go on those rants. It's like, because like I'm feeling like journey. What journey are you talking about? Like you're making it dramatic. A journey to me is like a big thing.
Yeah.
A journey. So ask the question just using layman terms. So little old simple me understands what you want to know.
Well, you're way smarter than I am. On this faith, we'll say walk, this life of faith that you've been living, and it is, and you said it literally, we start from the time we slide out.
I know, but like you make it sound like I'm a real faith-based spiritual angel walking the earth, which I appreciate.
There's no such thing, by the way.
Yeah, but that's not real. That's not the truth. The truth is what?
Yeah, it's not real. It's not. It's figuring it out one day at a time. How can I become the best version of myself? And so for you, you're just trying to figure out how can I be the best Brad Lea that I can be. So in that, when you said earlier off air about I just trying to, what does righteousness look like for me in my life?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, like cussing and profanity and I stopped drinking a while back, so I would have added drinking and partying and smoking cigars. Let me add that. Like, I want to know is that offensive? Am I in trouble for that, or can I be me? Because didn't he make me? Mm-hmm. And if he made me, isn't he perfect? Which means if he's perfect, well, then he made me. Well, if someone perfect made me, he must have made me perfectly. Mm-hmm. Get it? Like, come on, man. Like, dude, we got to start raising our own self-worth. So to me, it's like, I need to figure out, what does righteous look like? If I say shit, am I being unrighteous? Or I say shit, I'd like to help those people find a way to make money. My heart is not deciphering that intention as negative or evil or bad in any way. So when he says, when the word says, be righteous, well, what does that mean? Does that mean, my heart? Does that mean my intention? You know how they say, you're cheating even if it's in your mind, right? Mm-hmm. Well, then I'll bet you we all cheat.
I love that.
Yeah. You show me a priest or a pastor, you say you've been pastoring for how long?
12 and a half years. I was a pastor, full-time vocational.
I've been pastoring since I was about 4.
Well, and people, you asked me this question on your podcast 2 years ago. You said, Ken, do you miss pastoring? I said, I pastor more people now.
You're still a pastor, bro.
Oh, I pastor more people now. I have more influence now than I've ever had before when I was confined to the 4 walls of a church every Sunday, every Wednesday and every Sunday.
So why do you say you used to be a pastor?
Well, vocationally used to be a pastor.
You're still a pastor.
Oh yeah, I just don't get.
And so am I.
Yeah, it's not what I get paid for. The vocational word is, this is what I do full time to earn a living.
Brother, you're getting paid to pastor. Trust me.
Yes, I am. Talk to me about
if we debate this on live television.
We're live on about 6 channels.
Okay, good. Well, we can start getting votes based on who's winning the debate if we debate something. I would say that you're still a pastor, dude. I'm a pastor, and most people, believe it or not, don't realize there's a connection, but there is. If you have any influence over anybody, you are influential. The leadership, as the leader grows, I know there's a leadership podcast. Mm-hmm. What is a real leader in my mind? A real leader is someone who can create other leaders. What's the number one rule of leadership in my mind? The most important is lead by example. Mm. Like, you shouldn't have to do any more than that. Like, why is leadership such a mystery? It's like, listen, lead by example. Don't tell them what to do. Show them what to do. Be the example.
That's what Paul wrote. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. Super simple.
Yeah, but be the example. Yeah. That's leadership. That's leadership in a nutshell.
Well, I think when you take on that responsibility of a leader, you want to do better. You want to, like you said, what does it look like for me to be righteous? People are following me. I'm leading people. It was Mandy.
Be the light. Be the light so they know who you are and who you're with.
100%. Mandy asked me this question. The girl used to do your videos, used to do my videos. Mandy asked me this question 2.5 years ago. She said, Ken, why is it nowhere in your bio that you're a pastor turned coach? She goes, you do realize those are the same thing. And I was like, I kind of sat back and went, man, you're 100% correct. And I just didn't look at those two things together.
Right.
I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about truth, authenticity when it comes to being a businessman and a successful entrepreneur. Like, how much has that been in the forefront as you built all this amazing company and amazing business that you built?
Well, I mean, at a certain time, I started leaning into it a little bit more, but mostly it's been vitally important because, you got to build trust. See, people need to realize, money comes from relationships. A lot of people want more money. Well, then they need more relationships. Relationships are built on trust. Okay. People need to trust you. Okay. If I can't trust you, it doesn't matter if I like you. I can't trust you. And in some cases, we can trust that you're going to screw up or you're going to stab us or you're going to kill us, which means we can trust that you're no good. So that's the bad kind of trust. So, I mean, you have to navigate through this whole thing and realize, wait a minute, why not just tell the truth? Just tell the truth. And once I started leaning into it, dude, I started to develop this real brand and people started saying, man, I like that dude. He tells it like it is. Now I started noticing some people didn't like it. And I asked myself, well, how do you make every one of them happy? And the answer is you can't. You cannot make anyone happy. What they don't tell you is that you are an option. And once I realized that I'm an option in that question, like in other words, who should I make happy? Well, I'm thinking of everybody else, which most people do. Well, who am I going to choose? Okay, I'll choose my parents. I'll choose the church. I'll choose my wife. I'll choose my friends. I'm going to choose somebody, right? But you can choose you. Now, see, if you choose you, other people start going, well, dude, you don't get to choose you. That's selfish. Yeah. You shouldn't be choosing you. Are you telling me you're the most important person in your life? You're more important than your mother. You're more important than your children. You're more important than your wife. You're more important than your family. You're more important than God. What are you? Some sort of, and you allow that to go, and put you back in your place. Okay, everybody else is more important. Okay, let me do this to serve this party or that party. Well, in reality, bro, like you're an option. So if you can just realize that, number one, make yourself happy. Number two, your business should explode when that happens. And if it doesn't explode, well, then redo your business to build it on the foundation called you. Because again, it's your word, it's your integrity, it's your ethics. At the end of the day, your business better be based on truth, man, or it's not going to last. You're going to end up in a bad situation. So, just like speaking, faith wise, same thing, dude. Your business is life. Screw up in your life, screw people over in your life. What happens? Okay. Same thing in business. So you walk the truth, you walk the truth in business.
It's Galatians 6. You reap what you sow. You can call it karma. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but you're going to reap what you sow.
Well, 1000% that comment's true. But to me, the truth has cost me money because people don't like the truth sometimes.
That was my next question was going to be, how much does that cost you?
Oh, it's cost me probably a couple $100 million for sure.
And how do you sit with that? Like, how do you process that?
Well, to me, bro, listen, I do not fret because I am an abundant thinker. I do not think like that. It cost me $200 million. Cool. Glad it didn't cost me $500 million. You know what I'm saying? That's not stopping anything. I have an abundance mindset. I don't think about things like that. But, when I look back, the only alternative was to get the money and sell the truth. In other words, it's almost like let's equate truth to your soul. You gotta get that money. You gotta sell that soul. Well, I'm not selling my soul, dog. My soul's not for sale. And again, this is an analogy because my soul's not for sale. I'm telling the truth. And if you don't like the truth, I apologize. If you don't like the truth, I understand. I feel for you. But the truth's coming out of my mouth, my friend. And I believe that love is not lies.
Mm.
So when I always say love ain't lies, dog, love ain't lies, it means I'm going to tell you the truth. It doesn't mean I'm going to be rude. It means I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth stings sometimes, and people don't like the truth sometimes. But dude, I'm willing to accept that. Why? Because the truth, brother, it's the truth, man.
When you share the truth with the right people, though, Brad, in your life, it deepens and strengthens your relationship.
100%. The real people appreciate it.
Yes.
The real people crave it. The real people, they're appreciative that someone will just tell the truth. And you know what that does? What it develops? Trust.
Mm.
So, dude, my brand is a trust, essentially. Yeah. They see me, they hear me, they say, I may not like his attitude, I may not like his cussing, I may not like his style, but I can tell you right now, he's going to tell me what he thinks, and I can believe it whether I like it or not because he tells the truth. That dude's real. That's my brand, and I'm not selling it, okay? So you keep your $200 million, and I'll make an additional $2 billion my way. And if I don't, guess what? That's okay. Why? Brother, I already crushed it. I already knocked it out the park. I die right now, dog. I died a winner, chicken dinner. Well, you didn't get to $1 billion. Well, then the good Lord didn't want me to. I'm just putting it in God's hands, brother. Listen, hey, if the scripture's real, okay, God made me. God made me. Okay, well then I'm gonna put it in God's hands. Whatever it happens, I'm very grateful for it. I don't need $1 billion. I sure hope he wants me to be a billionaire because I'd sure be a good steward of that money. But at the end of the day, money, you don't get to keep it. You know, we come in broke and we gonna leave broke.
Never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul.
So I'm not going to get caught up with that here. Oh, dude, you could have had $200 more in your hand. Mm-hmm. Come on. That's scarcity.
But Brad, how did you get to that point? How did you get to, because I've hung out, we spent a lot of time together. How did you get to the point to where you're just, I just want to live my life and I'm going to work my ass off and then I'm going to have what I have. But it's not going to bother me if I don't get that next, because I think that's the trap most entrepreneurs fall into. And even a lot of faith-based entrepreneurs fall into, is they just strive and chase and strive and chase. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the year, or at the end of 10 years, they look up and they're exhausted because they've been chasing the carrot and they can't catch the carrot.
Well, that's because nobody's told them you don't chase the carrot, bro. You build it. Okay. You're chasing somebody else's carrot. And why a carrot, I don't know, but I call it dreams. Most people are trying to chase their dreams and, find happiness. And it's like, dude, you build dreams and you choose happiness. So I don't know what you're doing. You're trying to find something that you choose, fool. You're trying to chase something down that you build. Like, why are you running for? Like, come on. At the end of the day, you don't chase them, brother. You build them, and you build them with plans. And most people don't have one.
What does happiness look like to Brad Lea?
Happiness looks like my life. Okay. Happiness looks like almost being, I don't want to say carefree because I care, but I mean, like, bro, not worrying about what everybody thinks of you is 90% of it. I don't need you to validate me because I validate myself. Even if you said I'm the biggest jerk on the planet, there's no validation to that because I'm not the biggest jerk on the planet by any stretch of the imagination. And quite frankly, I'm almost the opposite. I am the closest thing to an angel that I know of walking this earth. Why? Because, bro, I'm just looking to help people, dog. I swear to you. Well, how about you? You take money. How do you get money? By helping people.
Yeah. Solving problems.
Moron. And by the way, there's some people thinking, no, like, dude, that's what I mean. Like, stop. Now here, if you play the podcast back, you heard me just say moron because I'm getting all excited and acting, like this. But that's what I meant by righteous. Like as I use the word moron to make my point and / be funny, cause that shock, which makes people, hear better. Am I being unrighteous by saying moron? So that's what I meant by that. But anyway, I just caught myself doing it again. But in reality, guys, you're not a moron. You don't know this. You're a moron if you hear this now and don't research it for yourself, find it to be true because it is the truth. And then what I call enlighten yourself. See, I've just been enlightened, Ken. I've made so many mistakes. I've ruined so many relationships. I've learned from all of those. And when you learn from all of those, one day you're just like, wait a minute, it doesn't pay to lie. It doesn't pay to fake it. It doesn't pay to bullshit people. It doesn't pay. Well, you can show me an example here where it paid and there's where it paid. Yeah, and I can show you an example. If you wait long enough, that will dissipate and it will not be worth the nonsense. Prison, death, divorce, all the things that happen when you lie and bullshit. When you apply that in business, dude, you're doing the same thing, man. You're building your business on a foundation of lies and deceit. It's going to crash. I promise you. You go out there and lie and cheat and steal, you're not going to be in business very long. I promise you. Okay. It's going to catch up to you. You might have fun for 5 years. You might have fun for 10 years, but one day you're going to look back, and unless you are a dirty, rotten scoundrel, you're going to look back and be like, dude, those were mistakes I were making. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't do that. No one should. And someone will be like, well, when did you learn that? Yeah. It was like my whole life is when I learned it. Keep in mind, I might look like a young buck, but I'm 55.
I turned 56 today. I'm interviewing BL on my birthday today, my friend.
Okay, well, again, dude, some people have lived 56 years. Okay, and some people have lived the same year 56 times.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's not me, dude.
Let me ask you this question, Brad.
I learn, I grow, I develop. It's part of my nature. It's part of my makeup. I every single day get new information. I get smarter and more aware and better every single day of my life. I'll be better tomorrow than I was today.
What keeps you driven towards that? What keeps you? Because that was the question I was about to ask. Is at a certain level of success, some people are like, okay, I'm good with where I'm at. I just want to chill and coast. But I've known you for several years. We spent a lot of time together. What keeps you driving to become the best version of Brad Lea?
Because I believe that's what we're supposed to do. The question is what were you created for? What is your calling? What's your destination? Well, I promise you, the destination will be better if you're better. Like if you arrive to some destination that you were meant to be, fat and out of shape, and well, then you weren't meant to be there. You were meant to be a fat and out of shape dude that was depressed. Okay. If your destination is, unknown, which mine is, so is yours, so is all of ours. Well, then all you need to do is like assume, okay, I'm going to assume a destination is going to be a good one. Why? Well, if I do the right things and I tell the truth and I, stay as healthy as I can, and, that destination is going to be as good as it can. But if you are real, and I know that you like to, say you're faith-based, well, dude, if you are, then I could sit here and tell you, it doesn't matter what you do, bro, because, give it to God. If you're so faith-based, Ken, it doesn't matter what you do. You're trusting God and everything, right?
You're right. It's hard though, because
trust God and move along. I do that, bro. I'm not afraid of what's going to happen. Why? Because whatever happens is going to happen. People say, well, what does that mean? That you mean that you believe in fate? Well, I believe that whatever happens is going to happen, and nothing you can do that would prevent something from happening. Now, again, like you could say, well, Brad, I'll prove that wrong. Go up to that person and say something. He'll punch you in the face, and it happened. Don't say that. He won't punch you in the face. So you prevented something from happening. I know, but my point is look at it from the reverse, Ken. Look at it from the reverse. Someone just brought me a cup of coffee. I asked for that. I can control what's happening right now, moving forward. Backwards, tell me how you can control anything.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how you can control your past.
I love
I'll
that.
give you $1
Absolutely
million,
nothing.
Ken. I'll give you $1 million. This is a record. If you can go back and literally change the past. You can't. Nobody can.
So the one thing about not being able to change the past is that you can control your future. And that causes you to want to control your future better.
Again, dude, I'm not worried about my future. Okay. I assume my future is going to be fantastic. Okay. I am worried about the now if I'm going to be worried about anything. Okay. Period. I either worry about the now or I don't worry. Does that make sense?
I love that, dude. Tell me something in the past, I don't know, few months that you've learned about yourself and then how you've applied that in your business life or family life.
Well, again, things that you learn about yourself, you don't always turn around and apply in your business life. Let me answer one question at a time. The first one, what have I learned about myself in the last couple months? Number one, I'm an empath. I finally realized I'm an empath. And if anyone wants to look that word up, it basically means I know how people feel. I can feel what you're feeling. And I think it's helped me in sales, and I think it's helped me in business. And, I used to think I could just read micro expressions. I can look at your face and, because you raise your eyebrow a little bit, I could be like, hey, this guy thinks this or thinks that. And I'm always right. But I thought it was me reading your facial expressions. But lately I've realized that's not what it is. I can feel what you're feeling. So I'm an empath. Now, how have I applied that to business? I haven't necessarily. It was just an observation. I think I've always applied that to business, by the way.
Yeah,
I always put myself in other people's shoes. If you want to be the best salesman you've ever been, all you have to do is use empathy. Like, put yourself in their shoes. Say what you would want them to say if you were them. I'd want them to leave if I were them. Well, then leave. See what I'm saying? Like, in other words, that strong sense of empathy make the best salesperson. I'll leave it at that.
What was the aha moment where you went, oh my gosh, I'm an empath. I'm a man of empathy. What happened to cause that revelation to you?
Well, we just had several conversations in a row with several different people that were trying to explain to me how they felt. And I didn't have to listen to them. I knew how they felt before they talked and explained it. And I said, I already knew that. And they said, how? I said, I could just tell, I could just feel it. And then happened just one after the other. And like by the third time, I'm like, dude, I am an empath is what I am. I can feel what you're feeling. It's weird, almost supernatural. I can feel what you're feeling. And by the way, a lot of us have that. We just don't recognize it. You might have it too, dude. Like there's people that they call it intuition. Okay. Well, my intuition tells me you're mad. No, you're feeling that they're mad. I can feel your vibration, dog. And you're mad and you don't like what I'm showing you and you don't like what I just said and you're being offended by this. And wait a minute, you don't believe me. I can feel people. We all can, I think. It's just some more than others, but all of us can. That's empathy.
I love that. I'll share the scripture with you and I'll ask you a question and then we're going to close it out today. Matthew chapter 5, verse 1, 2, and 3 is my favorite leadership verses in all the Bible. And really? Matthew chapter 5, verse 1 says, Jesus saw the multitudes. And that word saw in the Greek means, listen to this, he perceived their needs. He saw the people and he understood how they felt and what they needed. Now, if that's not a definition of exactly what you and I just talked about, there isn't one. He saw their needs. And I believe that any entrepreneur, any coach, any pastor, anyone who is a leader, a true leader, when you see people and you're moving at a speed or a pace that you need to move at as a leader, you're going to see the needs of people and you're going to be able to perceive this is what that individual needs, whatever that might be. And then you're able to lead that individual from where they are into becoming a better version of themselves in whatever area that they have a need in.
Interesting. You know, when I keep reading the word leader behind you, I can't help but to see my name is the first half and der is the second half, which means without me, you're not a leader. You're just a der.
Tell me something you're grateful for, bro.
Dude, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for, my abilities and, my breath, and I'm also grateful that, the world is still cranking and everything's positive. That's what I'm grateful for.
I love that. Well, I'm
My
grateful.
gratitude, by the way. Hey,
What?
my gratitude, by the way, is the key. If anybody wants a final bomb dropped here, guys, just remember this. At least this is my opinion. Okay, we all emit a frequency. The whole world is a frequency. Everything's vibrating. There's nothing on this planet or in this universe that is not vibrating. We are all vibrating and we are all a frequency. That is all it boils down to. We are frequencies. So if you realize that we're frequencies, what frequency are you operating at? Because if you wake up in the morning and you're anxious and nervous and depressed and envious and, greedy or, mad, whatever those emotions are, is down here on the frequency level of let's call it a tone scale down here. Then up here, you've got love and gratitude and joy and authenticity and certainty and excitement and enthusiasm. Well, if you operate up here in this frequency, everything unlocks and opens up and everything good is attracted to you because you attract what you emit. So when we wake up and we start emitting fear and worry and anxious and greed and gossip and drama and nonsense and scarcity, that's what we get more of. So remember that, guys, frequency is what you frequently see. So what you need to do is when you wake up, be extremely grateful just for the fact that you woke up. I don't care if you got a stomach ache. I don't care if you're a double amputee. You woke up, okay? And if you understand the value of just having the day, okay? One more day is so valuable. Like you could tell me, Ken, right now, I'll give you $10 million, but today's your last day. No. 100 million. No. Billion. No. Which means waking up tomorrow is more valuable than anything anyway. Exactly. So I'm that grateful for waking up. And when I do, my vibration sets the mark way up here. Because gratitude, I think it's possibly the highest form. Like Gary Brecker said, authenticity is the highest frequency. Well, maybe that means like almost enlightened. But to me, the highest frequency you can get is love. Love, gratitude. To me, it's like right there. You got happiness, joy, excitement, enthusiasm, confidence, certainty, faith. Like it's all up here. So doesn't it make sense, guys? If you want to attract that, you need to be that. Like, dude, it's crazy. I can teach people how to go get the girl of their dreams. You want me to drop that before I go?
Come on, baby. We'll take that. Actually, this is overtime.
Well, you got limits on this show? You limited, brother?
No, we're unlimited.
Oh, good. We're abundant.
Yes, we are.
So I'm going to give everybody the exact way to get any girl they want. Dream girl. Anybody. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care. This is how you do it. You take a notepad and you write down on the list exactly and specifically what you want your dream girl, what characteristics your dream girl has. You might be like, she loves sports. Okay, write it down. She's trustworthy. Okay, she's She's outgoing. She's funny. She's this, she's that. Just write it all down. Keep writing, keep writing. And once you're finished, I want you to write your name at the top of that list. And then I want you to be all of those things. And that's how you will attract that girl. You attract her by being those things. It's the craziest thing, dude, which is almost like a trick, because when you look at the word become, what's the first two letters?
Be.
You have to be to become. You have to be. And that's the secret, man. You want the most perfect female in your life, write down what the perfect female looks like, and then be that. Yeah. And people can be funny and be sarcastic and be like, oh, so I'm supposed to, have a nice butt. I wrote down nice butt. No, but physically fit.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So again, instead of trying to make jokes and figuring out, hey, where's the flaw in what he's saying? Understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you want the perfect girl. Figure out what the perfect girl looks like and all what her attributes are, and then have those attributes yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
Because people are attracted, or you'll get what you emit. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I love
so
that.
I want to just give people a hack. Wake up with extreme gratitude, not put your frequency at the top of the scale. And then the rest of the day, be aware that people are going to try to snag your frequency. In other words, they're going to try to get you down here. Why? Well, because they're down there. And they want you down there with them. When they see you up there, dog, they don't like that. They're like, wait a minute. Why is he happy? He shouldn't be happy. Doesn't he know Trump's about to get elected? Doesn't he know that freaking, they missed? What about Kamala Harris? Oh my God, dude. She's the best in the world. We all need her. Where'd that come from? What's going on? Who cares, guys? That's all the people trying to freaking rain on your parade and get your vibration down here to where the world is. And the world vibration is not in a good place. You don't want to vibrate with the world, friends. Let me tell you why. Because the vibration of the world is deep. And by the way, if you believe any faithful scripture at all, they all pretty much say, or at least the ones I read say, that the earth happens to belong to someone. The earth where we are, it belongs to someone. Who's it belong to, Ken?
It belongs to God.
No, it does not.
So it belongs to the children of God.
No, it does not. Nope. Dude, read the scripture. The devil.
Oh, yes. This world does, yes.
This is the devil's domain, bro. Am I lying?
No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the devil. No wonder it's got all these vibrations. It's negative. It's bad. It's depression. It's this. It's that. Guys, it's all frequency. Heaven and hell, this and that, good and bad, dark versus evil. It's all frequency, I'm telling you. And your frequency, that's why they say God's in you. Imagine if God is the frequency. Okay, all you have to do is tune into the frequency. So the frequency, I believe, is up here in the happiness and the joy and the fulfillment and the excitement and the enthusiasm. And you go through life this way, guys, you're going to rock and roll. You're going to be so happy. You're going to be so thankful that you got enlightened early. A lot of people go a long way. A lot of people live their whole life and never understand the simplicity of that. The simplicity is you choose to be happy or you choose to be pissed. You choose to react the way you react. You choose what you choose. And 9 times out of 10, the reason we choose what we choose is because we believe what we believe. So we have to kind of question our beliefs and change our beliefs, or we're going to keep doing the same things. And if we do the same things, we're going to get the same thing. So you want to get something different, you got to do something different. You want to do something different, you got to believe something different. So you seek information and you start to get smarter. And then pretty soon you start to feel better about yourself. You start thinking, wait a minute, hey, I might be worth a little more. And then your net worth starts to increase. And when your self-worth starts to increase, and then your self-worth will cause your net worth to follow. And it's like crazy. And you start to realize, wait a minute, this is all about attitude. This is all about gratitude. This is all about freaking relationships. Like, it isn't even about the money. Like, money's a tool. Money's stupid. Yes, it's handy. Yes, you should want some. But dude, you start to realize, you start to become enlightened. Wait a minute. All I got to do is choose to be good, and good will come. That's what I'm telling you, folks. And it is the truth. But you doubt that. Where are you at? You doubt that? Well, then you're down here in the doubt and the fear. You cannot doubt it down here,
the
brother.
longer you stay at this frequency, Brad, the more these people will leave you alone, and the more you'll start to attract people that are at that same high level, at that same frequency.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But Ken, it's so easy to get sucked back down into the muck, and it's easy. It's not hard, and it happens all day, and suckers allow it to happen. So I don't want your listeners to be a sucker anymore. Like, stop being stupid. Stop falling for stupidity. Okay. And by the way, do you know what most people do? They're the ones bullshitting themselves. They're the ones doing it to themselves, Ken. They wake up in the morning. Oh, I gotta go to work. Oh, I've been wanting to quit. I hate my boss. Geez, but I gotta pay bills. Oh, I don't even know if I can do that anymore with the president that's coming in, and dude, if freaking Trump doesn't win, we're all screwed. And like, guys, I understand life happens, but how are you thinking about life? What are you saying? What are your words speaking? What is your heart speaking? What is your mind making happen? Well, I don't believe in all that. Well, then you're stupid, because trust me, it works. And I'm proof of it, bro. 100%. I never should have multiple 8-figure companies. I should not be a multi-millionaire successful stud, okay, with millions of followers. I shouldn't be that. I am that because of what I'm telling you. So rather than doubt it, try to disprove it. See, that's what I always tell people. Don't doubt. Try to disprove. Like, for example, you read that book about that guy that went out to basically prove Jesus was made up? Yeah. What happened to him?
He gave his life to Christ. He's a Jesus follower.
So again, hey, don't just go try to disprove what I'm saying. Go do what I'm saying and disprove me. Come back a year from now, get on Ken's podcast and say, hey, I did what Brad said for an entire year. And I honestly did. Because again, guys, it's hard to do. I admit it's hard to do. We allow things to bother us. We allow someone's comment to get in our heads. We allow rejection to start lowering us down to where we get home and we're tired and we know we should get up and play with the kids. But damn, I've had a tough day. And so now you're going to ignore the kids. Then you wake up with the guilt and the shame of ignoring your kids, and you dwell on the fact that you missed the time and you're a terrible parent and blah, 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 blah. Guys, stop. Everything, stop. Just remember the simplicity of this. So good. You're a frequency. You choose what frequency you want to operate in. You choose. I can't choose for you to operate down here.
That's right.
You get to choose. I could tell you to operate down there. I could try to make you operate down there. I could pay you to operate down there. I could do whatever I could, but only you can allow the frequency you choose to operate in. So even if it's terrible, even if you're in prison, even if you're getting punched in the face, even if you get to control that, bro, you really do. So if I popped you in the nose and you get mad and you say, I'm to blame. No, you chose to get mad. You chose to start fighting back. You chose those things. Not that it's the wrong thing to do or it's the right thing to do. Point being is these are choices that we make. So the frequency is the same. You choose. So dude, choose the frequencies up here. Choose gratitude. Choose happiness. Choose to operate up here. And the way you do that is you become extremely grateful for the littlest of things. So like good. Me, I'm so grateful for just life, dude. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that immediately sticks me up here. And then I spend the day blocking the evil nonsense. I keep out the negative. Oh, no, don't bring that scarcity bullshit in here. Hey, no, it's not raining for me. Okay, how's it going? Wasted question. It's going unbelievable. It's always going unbelievable. Why? Because I'm alive, dog. You will never hear me say I had a bad day. Every day is a good day, especially bad days. Those strengthen me. So again, a bad day is a great day. So at the end of the day, it's my attitude.
So good.
That's my advantage. That's why I dropped out of high school at 16 and was still able to do what I do. That's how I have millions of followers. People are craving real. People are craving authenticity.
They sure are.
You deserve it. And that's how you do it. So I hope that helps.
Bam.
Hope that helps, Kent.
Hit that bomb button for me, bro.
Go preach that in the next fellowship or church you're in.
Dude,
hopefully that helps.
I love you, bro. And I'm grateful for you. Just, it's been fun being in a relationship and watching your journey and spending time with you and Melissa and the kids. And just, you really are. I tell people this all the time. Listen, you're the same dude. If we're sitting on the back, you're smoking a stogie, or if we're in your car, or we're at whatever cigar bar we went to last time and I had an old fashioned and you sit there and had a cigar and we just sit there and shot the breeze for a couple hours. You're the same dude all the time. And so I am extremely grateful for that. Guys, The Real Brad Lea, go follow him on Instagram. You probably already are. The Real Brad Lea, dropping bombs, one of the top podcasts in the world right now. My good friend Brad Lea. Bro, thank you for taking some time with us this afternoon, my friend.
Man, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, bro. Guys, thank you for joining us on another episode of As Leader Grows. I'll see you next week.